Yo guys, what is up? Max in our first Descendant video, and today we're breaking down everything you need to know about the big season update that happened today that launches a brand new weapon, Ultimate Freyna, new Transcendent modules for Haley and Ultimate Freyna. We've got a new boss and a bunch of changes to like a ton of things. We're going to be going over everything you need to know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get right into it. Before we dive into the notes, I do want to quickly apologize. I haven't posted the video in over a week. That is because I've been moving. I've been without internet, without electricity. I moved across the country. I'm back now, so expect a ton of videos, but I do apologize that I haven't posted in quite a while, and I haven't posted any of our best module or reactor farms of the week. I just haven't been able to, but we're back now, so video content should resume as normal. All right, let's start off. So they added Ultimate Freyna. Ultimate Freyna can be farmed through dungeons and outposts, kind of like a normal Descendant. Drop rates seem relatively fair across the board if you want to farm for her. She also launches with two new ultimate modules, the Toxic Mixture and Venom Injection. Toxic Mixture is going to allow her to, when you are triggering your abilities, to proc Necrosis instead of Room Zero Trauma. So this is kind of a way for her to more focus on her guns rather than her abilities. As enemies gain more stacks of Necrosis, your firearm attack increases. So you're going to get damage with your firearms, and you're going to get more firearm crit rate. Then you've also got Venom Injection, which is a defense mechanism, is changed to Venom Injection, her 2 ability. This is going to allow you to consume resources to recover your shield and increase your skill power modifier while inflicting corrosion on enemies. Enemies inflicted with corrosion suffer reduced toxic resistance, making them more vulnerable to Freyna's toxic attacks. Next, we get Haley's new mods, Super Cooled Kuiper Round, which when you're using her unique ability, you get reduced firearm and attack and fire rate, but increase weak point damage in return, and successful weak point attacks recover your shield instead of your MP. Should make you a little bit more tanky when you're firing at a boss if they're hitting you back. The mod that I'm really excited for, though, is Cryogenic Cluster Shot. This should really help with Haley's mobbing. The cryo effect is changed to cryogenic. Using a firearm attack on an enemy inflicted with cryogenic deals additional AoE damage to nearby enemies, making this a useful skill module for clearing out common monsters. Sounds really cool. Next up, we get kind of a massive change to, something that could really shake up the meta for builds, and that is we get mods that are focusing on characters that have low skill critical hit rate and skill critical hit damage. So obviously, with the way that mods are laid out in the game right now, when you're trying to buff up your damage and you've got a full every socket to fill, you can kind of run out of things that really buff up your damage, and you're left with some not great choices. Now they're adding things that instead of having to go for like 4 crit mods on Descendants, even if they're not scaling well with crit, you can actually sacrifice your critical hit rate and your critical hit damage to get more power and more modifier. So there's a ton of these new mods that are dropping from a bunch of different sources, different bosses, different dungeons. But for example, we can get 63% more tech skill power modifier at losing 140% crit rate. On using Descendants that only have like 5% base crit rate, this is actually going to be a great choice because you'll be able to get up a ton of extra damage. I think builds will definitely shift with this. They've also got new things where you've got like mixed things like electric power and crit damage up to 10%. And then we've also got the same kind of thing for guns. This is going to work really well for like guns like rocket launchers, for example, where you can sacrifice that crit hit damage but get a bunch more firearm attack. Should be really interesting to mess around with. Next up, we get the new Stalker boss. Haven't fought it yet. I've heard that Eugen is really good for it. So if you're going into Stalker, if you have a built-up Eugen, sounds like he might be really helpful for it. We also get the new Stalker external component set, the Distorted Resolve set. I haven't actually looked at this yet. So 2-piece set increases your firearm attack when using assault rifles, submachine guns. Solid. 4-piece set increases toxic skill power proportional to the amount of HP lost and recovers shield each time you inflict a debuff on the enemy. Successfully destroying the part of a Colossus grants the Exaltation effect, and while under this effect, your skill attacks fire projectiles that deal additional toxic damage and apply Desolation on Colossuses. Desolation effect weakens all attack of the Colossus incrementally as it stacks. That sounds pretty cool. Very interesting. We also got the new Invader set. Increases max shield and defeating an enemy increases skill duration based on the number of stacks, and also increases tech skill power modifier and dimension skill power modifier. Interesting. Tech and Dimension. That could potentially be useful on Ajax. Interesting. The new Frostwatcher weapon was added. This big thing with this weapon is it slows you down, but you're able to do a bunch of damage with it. Landing a critical hit on an enemy from beyond a certain distance grants cold surveillance effect, and hitting the weak point of an enemy from a certain distance grants the sub-zero sensation effect. Cold surveillance reduces enemies' chill resistance as it stacks, and sub-zero sensation increases your chill skill power. Defeating an enemy grants chill synchronization effect, and while under this effect, your movement speed reduction due to Haley's Cold Fury effect is ignored. Wait, what? Wait, that's crazy. So you can play Haley without the big downside of being really slow? Oh, that's going to be a must-have. Wait, I did not see that. Okay, crazy. Next up, we get the 400% infiltration operation missions. So I wasn't sure how this is going to work. Basically, the way it works is you're going to do them with the, invasion dungeons. So you know how like an area was kind of infected with an invasion dungeon, and it would just be like that area for the day? That seems how the 400% dungeons are going to work. So it's not like you can do any dungeon at any time at a 400% difficulty. You come over to the operations terminal, pick hard, and then if I go to like Vespers, I can't actually do a 400% dungeon. I can only go over here, and then I have the option to do the invasion and do like the Haley and the gold stuff, or run it at 400%, which obviously adds a bunch more modifiers and a bunch more enemies. All enemy defense plus 587%, with all enemies getting 56% more HP. I haven't run one of these yet, but I'm very excited to dive into them. Twitch.tv/Moxie. We're going to be playing all day if you want to come hang out. Next up, we get the ETO 0 trader. Note that you will not see this trader in game today at the time that this video goes live, because they are going to be coming on the weekends. Today is Thursday, so tomorrow is Friday. They will be showing up, and you're going to be able to sell your blueprints that you have. It's available at Master Rank 10, so brand new players will not be able to do this, which should help with the whole, like, maybe the people trying to, like, bot or, like, do things with that. So you actually have to level up your character. You can purchase various items with standard ETA vouchers. ETA vouchers can be obtained by completing the 400% dungeons with skill kill score multiplier, and you can exchange supplies of various items with premium ETA vouchers. Should be really cool. They added 44 hair dyes for dyeing hair. Very cool. And then we also get a bunch of new products. With the director's comment, we accept the feedback from our descendants regarding the exclusive spawn effects and back attachments in the previous Ultimate bundles. In response to this feedback, we've made the spawn effects and back attachments in the new Ultimate Freyna bundle available for universal use. Moving forward, we'll apply the same principle to all spawn effects and back attachments in future releases. Very good. Yeah, I thought that was a little silly. Additionally, we're working on improving the exclusive spawn effects and back attachments from previous bundles to make them universally usable. Once this improvement is complete, all previously purchased spawn effects and back attachments will also become universally available. That is awesome. Small request, please let us be able to dye the back attachments. The back attachments are cool, but you can like have them kind of not fit with your character because you can't change the color of them. If we could change the color of the back attachments, that would be awesome. And then lastly, we've got some kind of huge changes to Albion in terms of like the decorations for Halloween. I think they actually did a really awesome job. You got a big Halloween thing here, and everything is like way more orange and Halloween themed. Real quick, for the new items in the shop, the big one, obviously being Ultimate Freyna with her new skin, looks incredible. I think the back attachment, Vaporwave, is not very good, but it is what it is. And then the Vaporwave spawn animation is actually pretty nice. Looks cool. Then we've got new event skins for Halloween. The new event skins are pretty pricey. 1,500 caliber is pretty insane. But you do get the new like back attachments, wings that you can use on any character. This is the one for Bunny that comes with the black wings, which looks really, really nice. Then we've got the two universal skins. This is like the female universal skin and the male universal skin, which both come with the pumpkin attachment. And then you've got the like jail universal skin. Looks very nice. Saw like a preview of this on Haley, and it looked very, very good. And then that's kind of it for like the big new cosmetics. I said lastly, but there's actually a ton more things to go over. So we've got some huge content improvements. Colossi no longer stray too far out of the battlefield during intercept battles. Looking at you, Dead Bride. You try to hit Dead Bride and she'd literally leave the map. Good changes there. There's a bunch of changes here. Infiltration operations now reward additional firearm proficiency XP. Very good. They kind of toyed around with some extra like firearm XP gains with that event. Now it seems like they're adding that back in. And some infiltration operations now reward more Descendant XP. I love just them constantly. They've just been constantly buffing the XP that we earn since launch, which is great. Slumber Valley, Sepulcher, Seed Vault, Caligo, Ossuary, Mystery's End, and Old Mystery, and Quarantine Zone all will give more XP. These were all dungeons that weren't seeing as much play for XP, so maybe those will now be some better XP farms. We'll definitely have to do some testing on if the like best XP farms are still the best. Next up, players now revive with 100% shield from down but not out. They fixed the final main quest reward, level 100 firearm reactors and enhancement materials. Oh, that's nice. So if you're starting out in normal mode and trying to transition into hard mode, they'll just give you level 100 stuff. Players now have 3 seconds to cancel the start of private operations. That's really nice. I've gotten hit by that a few times. Deleted the underused 150% in infiltration operations. Nice little change there. Descendants changed the missions that drop Freyna stabilizers. When Freyna uses a skill to inflict room 0 trauma, she now also inflicts toxic reaction, panic, despair, decay, or nightmare. What? Wait, is that another Freyna buff? I'll have to look into that. The plague body armor affected, granted by Freyna's skill, defensive mechanism, and toxic stimulation is now renewed when the skills are used again. Awesome. Improved Kyle's repulsion dash and collision instinct skills to hit environmental objects such as gas cylinders. Nice. SMO can now use the time bomb skill while shooting a firearm or using other skills. That's also really nice. Okay, bunch of good changes there. By the way, that change makes Freyna even stronger. So before you had to inflict your debuff, and then that debuff would spread the like other damage type to nearby enemies. And obviously, if you only had one enemy, you wouldn't be able to apply that like extra dot. Now, Freyna, just using her abilities, will apply double dots with each ability. So if you click her one, you're getting right now I'm getting a 272 dot plus a 259 dot. And then if I hit the 3, I'm getting a 286 dot plus a 272 dot. So like on a single target, Freyna's basically just doubled her damage on single targets, which is disgusting. That's actually so gross. Okay, we're gonna have to mess around with that. Next is actually a pretty big change to reactors. So they're adding reactors to the hard difficulty field, allowing you to obtain them when needed. When obtaining reactors in hard difficulty missions, outposts, or fusion reactors, you will require reactors with specific attributes and Archie based on each battlefield. So previously, the only thing that was like kind of consistent with where a reactor was dropping was where the like weekly rotation was. Now there's going to be the weekly rotation to go get reactors from different missions each week. But there's also a set now standard where if you want to farm a like electric singular reactor, you can now just go to Sterile Lands Rockfall or Agna Desert Mining Site or Hagios Forward Base and just do these missions every day, every week, and you will always be getting electrical singular. Same thing for like fire tech or any of these reactor combinations. So obviously that's going to allow you to kind of always, if you really need a reactor for a character, always go and do out a mission. Obviously, you know, some of these aren't going to be as efficient as other missions. So we'll have to check on like which reactors are actually still like super worthwhile to farm from these, but that should make it a lot more consistent and easy to get the reactor that you need. Next, we get the Gluttony nerfs. They reduce Gluttony's HP and attack. Impurity now reduces the wipe attack gauge further. The wipe gauge fills up slower, and they removed the ice effect inflicted with the Impurity explodes. You can't get frozen by those orbs. They increased the expansion limit of equipment inventory and storage slots by 200. I'm nowhere near that, but if you are buying all the inventory slots, you can now buy even more inventory slots. Pretty crazy there. There's a bunch of other like miscellaneous changes that I'm not going to be going through just because they're not overly important and you probably wouldn't notice them, but I will leave a link to the like patch notes in the description if you want to check them out yourself. The biggest other like miscellaneous thing of changes here is the mastery rank XP bug. So apparently there was a mastery rank XP bug where when you were leveling up your weapons, you weren't actually getting as much mastery rank XP as you should have been getting. This means that like when you were leveling up a weapon from level 1 to 2, you were getting awarded the XP of level 1 rather than level 2. So when you log in today, you should just get a bunch of free extra mastery rank XP, which is pretty nice. So look out for that when you're logging in. And guys, that is going to do it for the patch notes. Tons of changes here. There are some things missing that I was hoping to see, mainly the changes to reactors. I really am excited to see what they do with those like reactor changes where you can like put multiple weapons on a reactor. I think that will improve the quality of life of the game a ton, and I was kind of expecting to see that today. Unfortunately, we didn't get that today. And I also would love to see some more notes on follow-ups on the whole like the ability to like get rewarded for investing into regular Descendants, so that you can like infuse them or improve your ultimate Descendants when they drop. But overall, lots of great changes here. We've got more XP, bunch of new content in the game. Freyna should be even stronger than she was before. We got more quality of life changes to Essimo and to Kyle, and the new 400% dungeons. Can't wait to try them out. And I'll probably make a video on ETO 0 tomorrow. Guys, that's going to do it for the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.